the Titans, the older gods, and the Olympian gods. That Zeus spared Prometheus and Prometheus' punishment in Tartarus. Also, too, because they were to be highly intelligent, and they didn't fight. Prometheus made men out of clay or the ground, and Athena, goddess Athena, breathed the breath of life into them. And then they were living beings. By executive decision, Prometheus decides to give men the ability to walk upright on 2 feet, and to speak, and ability to speak and think like the gods. Because Prometheus loved mankind so much more than the other Olympians. That Zeus is a douche nozzle, and a bad guy. Like, I cannot imagine him not knowing that.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Luminizer here, and I am back with another video, changing up a little bit, doing a voiceover for my intro. This is Makeup Mythology Monday with your girl Luminizer. If you're new here and you like makeup and mythological stories, make sure to like this video, share with your friends, and subscribe. Right now I'm prepping my face before we start doing the fun stuff as far as makeup goes. This is my color corrector, already some primer, and then we're gonna blend that out to cover up my flaws and then base my eyes. But yeah, I'm so glad you're here. I'm excited to talk about Prometheus and how it relates to Black liberation, and yeah, so just stay tuned. We're almost done here, just setting our base of our face. And I'll post this down below as usual for this last February, and hope you guys enjoy. Let's go!
The story of Prometheus comes to us from Greek mythology, of course, staple of mythology, one of my faves, you know, I cannot lie. Prometheus' name means forethought in the Greek language. Now, Prometheus is thought to have a hodgepodge of different references, sources, of which the story has its origins, including Hesiod, Pluto's, Elachius, and Ovid. Wheat? He has its origins in wheat. That's kind of hilarious. I'm not an adult, you guys, I'm sorry. And so, because of this, Prometheus' story can seem a bit inconsistent and disorganized at times, but it is still a great story nonetheless. And there are quite a few versions of events, so I'm going to try to go with the most popular version that I've heard, and we're just going to enjoy from there. Prometheus was said to be a Titan who was the son of Oedipus, and Oedipus, Titan, and son of, and Oedipus is the son of Uranus, ruler god, and Gaia, mother earth, and then his mother, Prometheus' mother, is Clymene, the oceanoid nymph, and then his siblings are Archiale, Metnotuius, Atlas, and Epimetheus, which means afterthought. We'll be back to him in a second. There was a great series of wars between the Titans and the gods on Mount Olympus, called the Titanomachy. Titanomachy is what it's called. And these wars were between the Titans, the older gods, and the Olympian gods. I wonder who the older gods were. Tell for another day. So there was an old generation of gods, and the Olympians were fighting to be the new generation of gods to overthrow the old gods. And this great war ensued. And as legend has it, the Olympians won the war. So they became the rulers of everything. And then as a result, so the Titans lost and were condemned to the special like holding place. I believe that was in Hades. While Prometheus and Epimetheus were not condemned to the same punishment because they fought on the side of the Olympians, which they would soon come to regret. Yeah, it is said that Zeus spared Prometheus and Epimetheus punishment in Tartarus. Also, too, because they were to be highly intelligent and they didn't fight with their fellow Titans in the war against the Olympians. And I know a lot of versions of this tale also, Prometheus has like future seeing capabilities, so they definitely like want him on their side to help him out.
Basically, they were kind of rewarded for being neutral, which I mean, I guess is fair enough. I mean, maybe they're like me and they don't like war, and I'm just like, you guys, like, let's just be so dumb. Like, let's just not. Like, let's have a party or something. Like, can we just not fight each other? That would be fantastic. Like, why can't we all just get along? Why shouldn't they and take things over? Like, just chill out, man. Chill out.
Of course, as legend has it, Prometheus and Epimetheus were given a really special task by Zeus.
Sorry, y'all. I thought I was recording when I was doing this half of my face.
So Prometheus and Epimetheus were given the task of making living creatures to roam the earth. Because the story is about kind of like it's parts of like the creation, according to the Greeks. Don't do me. Don't do me. Yeah, their task was to name all the creatures of the earth. And that's why their names are profound. Such as, they're all regarding like thought, forethought, afterthought. And so, as they're creating, they made various creatures. Prometheus made men out of clay of the ground, and Athena, goddess Athena, breathed the breath of life into them. And then they were living beings, but, I mean, technically, yes. Prometheus actually was given the task of giving these creatures that Prometheus and Athena had made their abilities. So he gave birds the gift of flight.
And venom. Ooh, creepy, creepy. Not you giving snakes venom. I never liked snakes. In both a physical and metaphorical sense.
Birds were given flight, snakes were given venom. And turtles were given hard shells for protection, and so on and so forth. Then Epimetheus slowly realized that he had given all the gifts he had away and did not have a gift for mankind, who is considered the greatest creature of all, as they were given dominion over all the other animals. Right, so basically, once Epimetheus realizes this, that he never saved a gift for humankind, he goes to Prometheus and he freaks out. He's like, oh my gosh, bro, I totally forgot about these ones. I don't know what ability to give them. I don't know what to do with these. What do we do with the man people? Oh my gosh. What are we going to do with mankind? I don't know what we're going to do with them. I don't know, because I gave away all the other gifts. Prometheus just like, okay, no biggie, I got it. So, by executive decision, Prometheus decides to give men the ability to walk upright on 2 feet, and to speak, and ability to speak and think like the gods, as well as giving them fire. And this is where the story becomes interesting, because Prometheus loved mankind so much more than the other Olympians. The Olympians were kind of just like, okay, whatever, there's the earth, we rule this stuff, let me know when something big happens, you know, whatever. Prometheus loved mankind. He was set on ensuring their survival and giving them the tools for that to happen. So, Prometheus came down to Earth and taught the people arts and crafts. He taught them how to use fire, and he basically was just teaching them, you know, okay, you can use these things to make bows and arrows and such. Oh my goodness. Contour, blend, 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 blend. You all need to blend. You all need to blend. Now, as every sexual harasser in power, Zeus makes humans give him sacrifices, you know, because he's like supreme of the universe. Okay, you're so freaking creep. So because Prometheus, you know, again, his name is Forethought, and in a lot of versions of the story, it's believed that he can see the future. Okay, so he, like we know now, probably knows that Zeus is a douche nozzle and a bad guy. Like, I cannot imagine him not knowing that, and not even just seeing what the future is, and not knowing that Zeus is just bad news. So he had to prank Zeus, which is something I definitely would have done too. It's just amazing how much me and Prometheus have in common. Because I feel like he knows Zeus is like not a good person. Basically, he asks, Zeus asks mankind to bring him a sacrifice of animal flesh. So Prometheus, being the brilliant, petty mastermind that he is, he makes one bowl full of like the bones, but covers it with fat, and then leaves like the tender part with hide on over it. So either way, I guess he is like, it's meant to trick Zeus, because naturally the fat always looks good on any kind of animal. Which I believe this was like a bull that they had to use in this scenario. So he picks that one, but when he sees that, he's pissed because underneath all it was bones. So because of this trick played on him by Prometheus, he takes fire away from mankind. But is that where our story ends? Of course not. What kind of story would it be if it just ended right there? Then Zeus basically replies like, mind your damn business, bitch. What I do with the humans does not concern you. But in a more eloquent way, he said,
leave the race of men to me. What you call ignorance, I call innocence.
I mean,
what you call darkness is the decree of my shadow. Okay, man is happy. And men will stay happy until persuaded otherwise. By me, Zeus, the
well, so he's just kind of like in there. Zeus was like, okay, so you're not telling them anything, don't teach them anything, like, you're good to go, bro. Your tax is done. I got it from here. But naturally, Prometheus was not gonna let that. Was not taking that sitting down. Because I mean, his name is Forethought, so he knows that mankind won't even know lots of different things for their survival. For our survival. Well, since our homeboy Prometheus was not happy with Zeus's answer and didn't just let him bring fire back to mankind, he devised a plan to steal it back.
One day while the sun was rising, Prometheus stretched out his arm into the sunrise and
into the eastern horizon where the sun was rising and pulled flames from the sun. Because he's a titan, he's a big guy. Flames were also faint, so he was able to put them in his in a dry fiber parket and put it under his tunic, so he could hide it from everyone else. Because, again, taking fire is not supposed to be having, This is dangerous between the two people here. Dangerous business. But of course, naturally, Prometheus doesn't care because he loves mankind so much. He's just like, well, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Prometheus brought humans fire and they were scared and they wanted him to take it back. But he taught them how to use it. He told them how it can be used to cook food and for warmth. And he told them how to feed it with twigs and put it out with water. The humans thanked him and he left. When Zeus found this out, he was furious. He had his 2 workers, Force and Violence, take Prometheus to Mount Caucasus and chain him to the mountain, where every day a vulture rips it out and eats his liver. His liver regenerates and the cycle continues every day, which is his eternal punishment. And it's like, I'm pretty sure he's immortal as well. He was stuck and the chains were unbreakable. Zeus gave Prometheus 2 options to be relieved from his punishment. One would be to look to the future and tell Zeus which of his children would dethrone him, or 2, have a mortal sacrifice themselves for him. As we know from the story of Sagittarius, Chiron, the centaur, sacrificed himself for Prometheus to end his pain. I was curious about the moral of Prometheus, the Lightbringer. Prometheus defies the gods by stealing fire from them and giving it to humanity in the form of technology, knowledge, and civilization. Prometheus stands for humanity's progress against forces of nature. In the beginning, he gives humanity the gifts of hope and fire. Hope helps human beings strive and struggle for a better future. Now, what does that have to do with blackness and black liberation? The defiance of Prometheus became an important symbol of cultural revolutions of the modern era. Prometheus was seen as a useful symbol for abolitionists and freed slaves, and others who were favored black liberation. Zeus and Prometheus were racialized. Zeus was seen as the oppressive Euro-Christian force, and then a radical divergent Prometheus opens the possibility of a black uprising against white oppressors, whereas European Prometheus reorients him within the paradigm of white Christianity, which excludes black people. Hickman frames the struggle of defining modernity as a struggle between black and white Prometheuses. Many whites saw this black Prometheism as dangerous because it subverts white intellectual and divine superiority, and it justifies black rebellion and resistance against white hegemony. White Prometheus contorts the oppressive structure to fit into Prometheus' story. White people appropriate, being Caucasian, which really people consider as like West Asian. And this black Prometheism was very influential in sparking like the Haitian Revolution, for example. And it's just so fascinating.
In his book, The Black Prometheus, Jared Hickman, he basically racializes Zeus and Prometheus, which it's fascinating. I never thought of anything quite that deep with this story, because the Promethean figure did help lead way for many rebellions. Like it did help inspire the Haitian Rebellion, which was the first ever freed state of the New World. So that's kind of badass. I mean, he's already badass already for being the first ones to fucking do the damn thing, but it's fascinating how mythology can help the cause for justice. But yeah, it's like the idea of a European Prometheus kind of appropriates and bastardizes the story of Prometheus in the same way white people calling themselves Caucasian bastardizes and appropriates the term Caucasian, because actually people from the Caucasus, most of them don't identify as white. Maybe some will, but a lot of people will say they're West Asian or Middle Eastern. But of course, if you know history, there was like a whole fight among, actually over a skull that some white dude, some racist ass white dude found a skull from the Caucasus Mountains and said these are the most beautiful people in the world, so we have to name ourselves white people after them, which makes no fucking sense. But it's my business. So, okay, the search for Caucasian Prometheus, however, often led to a complicated territory in a world dominated militarily, primarily politically, by European powers, in which there was often defined in terms of strictly being non-European. Meaning white American and European commentators, for example, turned to people of the Caucasus, the very mountains of which Prometheus was chained, according to the myth, which were in the 19th century gradually becoming identified as the legendary homeland of white people. I don't know how true that is. The celebration of Caucasus' physically brave and phenotypically white freedom fighters seemed perfectly a piece of serendipitous restoration of the Titan to a region being reinvented as the heartland of whiteness. Problematically, however, the freedom fighters were Islamic jihadists fighting against Russian and therefore Europe rule. So there's also an interesting part here about how another story that was inspired by Prometheus myth. You know, the story of Frankenstein is called the modern day Prometheus. And so Prometheus is a reading of that story, basically, where it kind of mirrors black Prometheism against white hegemonic claims. In this reading, Mary's novel forms an internal doubling and distorted mirroring of the Prometheus figure in Victor and the creature's parallels quest for forbidden knowledge and domination over each other. So, making the Victor, the professor, a Caucasian Prometheus, and his creature, a African Prometheus, each seeking to gain the upper hand through the mastery of the other. The novel's mediation by a frame narrative privileges Victor's perspective and features an Arctic setting of encompassing whiteness and vices, the extent to which the deck is stacked in Victor's favor against the creature, however. Methodolizing thought and rhetoric that sees in human struggles pitting against a god. Fascinating, just because there is a session about about white Jesus and about how Christianity has been used as a tool of oppression against people of color across the world, and how we can either reject it or kind of modify it to now be for now God to be the God of the oppressed instead of God of the oppressors. And I know it's kind of interesting to think of Prometheus, I don't know, as a freedom fighter, as Frederick Douglass, or as someone who is part of this age of Aquarius who wants to see actual change in the world. And I know it's fascinating. I just didn't think of it quite like that, like Black Prometheus. I was like, why I Googled that one day, I don't remember, but I stumbled upon this and it was just fascinating. I just wrapped my mind around it. I never thought about it with the Frankenstein. Yeah, everything's because that's a good parallel to slavery as well, because Professor, his whiteness, he's the one who controls the monster because he made him, so to speak. In a way, you still have white supremacists today who will say, African American people are so lucky that we let them stay here. They're so lucky they have what they have because our ancestors allowed them. It's No.
But that's me for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and you have an awesome week, day, life. Love you. Bye.